So I'm Lotte Cream from Goat Girl, and these are records in my life.
Slipping on, it comes and it goes. The feeling we're told cannot be so.
Thank you so much for taking the time to be on Records in My Life. Tell us about your latest record. It just dropped a little while ago. It's getting great. I mean, it's getting great reviews.
Yeah, I'm like really taken aback by just the amount of like positive responses we've gotten from it. Yeah, it's just like it's just been a whole kind of journey with this record because we've had it for such a long time. We recorded it like at the end of 2019, so we've sort of been sat on it a year, and
Wow.
we obviously like knew that it was there, but so many people didn't, and yeah, it was quite hard to like keep it a secret for that amount of time.
Please tell us an important factor, the title of the album, maybe maybe who you worked on it with. I know you worked on it with a pretty good producer.
Yeah, well, we worked with our friend Dan Carey, who recorded the first album. Yeah, we just knew that we wanted to record with him because we got along so well. And I think he's one of those guys, like as soon as you meet him, you become his best friend, which is a relationship that I think is kind of essential when it's like a producer and an artist. And we were like recording there for, I think, 2 weeks for this album. So not a lot of, it was mostly like the kind of effort put in for it was mostly kind of pre-production. So it was us kind of figuring out how to play it live as a band. And Dan kind of helped us with that as well. And so, yeah, it was a lot of like planning before the actual like event took place. And once it did, we actually like tracked the whole record in, I think, 2 days. So the bare bones of it was kind of done in that amount of time. And then the rest of those 2 weeks was just spent having fun, kind of experimenting with all of Dan's equipment, and there's loads of it. So yeah.
Do you have a favorite track that you're most proud of, or one that you really, really love?
Oof. It's hard to pick. But once again, I think it's the 4th track on the album. I really enjoyed the kind of process behind this track. It's just it's one of those songs that, because we like approach this album a lot more collaboratively, and this song is a real kind of like pinnacle point of that collaboration, I think, for me, where it just went through so many different stages of how it sounded. And if you actually heard the original sound of this song, like you wouldn't actually believe that it was the same song. It's changed so much, and I think there was a real kind of group effort behind that. So that's probably one that I'm most proud of, for sure.
Fantastic. And give us the name.
Yeah, it's called On All Fours.
Thank you again for being on Records in My Life. This show is about you, the artist, and the records that have inspired you and that you love. Obviously, we've all spent a lot of time at home over the past year. Have there been any albums that you've discovered that you've been obsessing over?
Yeah, I was recently gifted for my birthday new Eartheater vinyl. What's it called? It's like a really long title, like Phoenix, something about flames upon the skin. That record is like probably one of my favorites from last year. It's just so beautiful. Her voice is like crazy, kind of angelic, graceful sounding. Yeah, beautiful, that record for sure. Also, Adrianne Lenker.
Sure.
Her new album Songs was another album that's kind of been propelling me through this really strange time. Yeah, it's one of those albums that I can listen to over and over again, and I get like almost a different experience every time. Yeah.
She actually put out 2 records. She put out instrumentals, right? And Sorry, I can't remember, and the label's going to kill me again. But she did she did put out. You're talking about not instrumentals, but the other one. And
Yeah, I think.
I'm drawing a blank now. Songs?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's called Songs.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're
Um,
right.
yeah, it's not the instrumental one. It's like the songs. I don't know.
Right, right.
The
And
ones where
she's on
she's
this.
singing. But yeah, she like recorded it in some like sort of log cabin in the woods somewhere, and it just sounded very
She's
romantic and kind of beautiful.
fantastic singer.
Yeah, she's amazing.
So you guys, as you alluded to before, you're a quartet now. When the band first begun? Now, which albums, if there were a couple of records that inspired you guys to start playing music together? Think of two albums right away.
Well, there's an album that springs to mind called Woodbine. Sorry, Woodbine by Woodbine. That was like quite an important album to us. I think like when we were first starting out, I think it was actually like before Goat Girl became a thing, and me, Ellie and Naima were like just hanging out constantly, having loads of sleepovers. And I remember Ellie playing the song Mound of Venus from that album and all mutually just falling in love with it. And I think it was like when we were kind of going off, like dozing off, we were like kind of sleeping almost, but awake and listen to it and was like, this is the music that I love and that I want to make. And it felt really nice that we were all together listening to it and kind of experiencing it for the first time. Yeah, definitely that record is really beautiful. And also I think another one would probably be Dragnet by The Fall. Yeah, me and Naima went to see The Fall in Brixton. After hearing this record, actually, we were really lucky that they were like playing kind of quite soon after we discovered them as kids. And we were like right at the front, and we were sort of being pushed around by all these old blokes telling us that we shouldn't be here kind of thing. But we stood our ground. And then Marky Smith does this thing where he like passes the mic out to the crowd and people just sing along, but like we didn't know any of the lyrics because we'd literally just listened to like this one really old album. I think it's like one of their first records. And so we just were screaming into the mic. I think there's actually like a clip of it on YouTube. I found it like ages ago, and it was, yeah, you can just like hear into the mic. Something about Goat Girl, actually. I can't remember. It was like something like vote for Goat Girl. Like,
Fantastic.
I had no idea. Like, it was really weird. Yeah, those two albums for sure, I think quite influential.
As I was coming over here, I mean, I'm a huge Bill Hicks fan, and like for a long time. So I was just I know obviously where the name of the band, Goat Boy, Goat Girl, but do you have a favorite recording of Bill Hicks?
Do you know what? I was like thinking about this like recently. I think the whole Goat Boy sketch, for me, like in retrospect now, I'm like, this is really messed up. Like, this is something I don't want to be associated with, yet we're named after it. It's so sexist and so problematic on loads of levels. And I think he's definitely a comedian where like it hasn't aged well, but I still loved what he stood for, which was this like very kind of like satirical, ironic approach to the world. And I really like this sketch he does where, I don't know, it's like probably one of his most famous ones where he's talking about like smoking and like, what is it? Someone tells him that smokers die all the time or something. And he was like, well, non-smokers die every day kind of thing.
It's a brilliant line.
Yeah.
Let's go back to your, all due respect, enough talk about Bill Hicks, but let's go back to you even younger than, what album, give us a couple of records that inspired you to truly start playing music and made your decision, this is what I want to do with the rest of my life?
I mean, I kind of grew up with music because my dad is like a musician. He's a viola player. So I grew up like listening to like really weird kind of classical music. He's really into like minimalist music. So I grew up listening to like him practicing Steve Reich's Different Trains, stuff like that, which is like really tense for like a 4-year-old to hear. That stuff is like pretty dark and heavy. And at the time, I mean, not as a 4-year-old, but probably when I got a bit older, I was just like, this is really weird and lame. But now in retrospect, I've kind of come back to it. And I think like those kind of early years of hearing that kind of music was definitely like really influential to me, probably more subconsciously. So in shaping like how I understood music and kind of loved it, I guess. And then I think as I got a bit older, discovering music for myself, I got into like a lot of like post-punk and listened to bands like the Pixies, for example, Surfer Rosa, which was like quite a kind of pinnacle record in my life.
Good choice. That record was they were the biggest. Pixies were the biggest thing in England for a while. I mean, I think before they broke it here, they were in England. Yeah. They were massive. Thank you again for being on Records of My Life. Just a couple more quick questions, and we'll let you get on with your evening. You've saved your children. You've saved the pets. There's a house fire, and you have time to run out with one record. Which album do you save?
There's a house fire. Which record do I save?
You're fighting through flames, and there's one record.
I'm looking at my records. I'm
God
like,
forbid.
Which one do I want to save? Damn, I mean, I would try and get them all, but that's probably a bit impractical. I'd probably say Tender Buttons by Broadcast.
Oh, yeah. Good one.
Yeah, I love that record so much. Trish Keenan is my hero.
Weed, wine, or water to listen to your favorite record and to write?
Well, I'm pretty scared of weed. I can't smoke it without feeling very paranoid. So, and water, I don't know, a bit boring. I'd probably go for wine. Yeah.
What would you consider the album of your high school years?
Well, secondary school was kind of weird, I guess, because like I don't know, if you like guitar music, you're basically kind of a weirdo. So I kind of kept quiet about my like love for that and sort of liked chart music and stuff. But chord that everyone kind of could agree on would have been like Gwen Stefani, Love Angel Music Baby. That was probably like a record that was like on repeat throughout. Well, but that's probably more primary school, but going on to secondary school. But a record for me in secrecy, in the privacy of my room. Oh, Joy Division. Yeah, Joy Division. Unknown Pleasures.
Fantastic. And we like to ask for your fans and our audience some words of wisdom.
Just try keeping on in these weird times, and you know, if you're starting music for the very first time, just have fun with it and don't take it too seriously, because that's the kind of Goat Girl motto. Just like live in the moment, I guess. That's so cheesy, but yeah.
No, that's great. That's great. Thank you so much, and continued success with the record, and hope to see you on the road, you know, soon in Vancouver. I'm dying to hear that record live.
I'd love to come to Vancouver, like hopefully at some point. I mean, probably more 2022, but fingers crossed.
Seems a while away, but thank you again. Thank you. Take care. Be well. Sure.
I
Be
really
safe.
enjoy your program. So yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
That's very kind.
I'm a big fan.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.
Hi, I'm Mark Henning, the other half of Records in My Life. Love it that you made it to the end of the video. Please leave us a comment, leave us a thumbs up, and subscribe. If you really dug the show, we'd love it if you'd consider supporting us over at patreon.com/RIMLTV. Cheers and see you next week.